Hey everybody! It's me, Jum Jumington, former CEO of Jumington Dynamics, broadcasting live from the Jumington Dynamics Auxiliary Hazardous Material Storage Facility somewhere in the world. How's it going, everybody? Well, let me get that back. Hey everybody, how's it going? Man, I need to sleep tonight. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just little 3D modeling. Let me get some BGM going. What's up, everybody? Welcome in for some smooth, easygoing blending, is what I'd like to say. But Blender is always super stressful. Like, oh no, they're gonna know what an amateur I am. But it usually goes well. What's up, Silas? What's up, Flash? What's up, Utter Chaos? What's up, Glitch? What's up, Perhead and Mo? Welcome in. Hit you with a hashtag for our in. Oh my God. Are you still mad? Are you still mad about me throwing you in that pit? It was perfectly timed. We can get Jess the head. Bring back the headlessness. Ah! Oh, it's a pretty smooth tune there. You know, the tuning feature has got to nearly 10K views since I sent it. See, I'm good for the content. Just a headless, I can't do it. People are gonna come in and be like, why is this man headless? And then they're gonna think, the worst is if they come in and they like it, and then they're mad every time they show up and they're like, why is your head here? Get rid of that head. Get rid of that head. All right. Well, tonight, at least initially. I'm working on making a helmet for an upcoming Mega Man X stream. And I'm just looking at it. I already got some ideas on how to do it, but also like, this Jum can't hurt us if you don't believe. Oh, you believe. You can pretend you don't, but he'll find you. Mega Man Extreme is the Game Boy Color. Was that only a Game Boy Color? I thought there was another one. Yeah, so we are in Blender. Usual caveats with Blender. I'm a total amateur. I'm not a professional 3D modeler, and I will never claim to be. I make most of the stuff you see on stream, pretty much everything that's not the games themselves. That's like 3D modeled is all stuff that I've modeled. I made this model that you're looking at right now. It was the first thing I made in Blender, so that's my excuse for all of its many faults. And I do have a helmet that I made for my Mega Man streams, which I was pretty happy with. It's a bit of a challenge because I got this wide pumpkin-shaped head, so things got to stretch out a lot to fit it. But I thought this worked fairly well, and it wasn't super duper complicated. And some of these parts, like the earpieces, I think I could probably reuse. No sense reinventing the wheel on it. So I've got some reference artwork up there. One is from a Japanese ad for Mega Man X. The other one is some artwork that I found browsing around. I didn't see anyone credited on it. It was someone posted it. So if I knew who drew it, I wouldn't post that. It could be from like official stuff, but it was like a page of a bunch of different helmets. So this file actually contains like the pieces from that. Also, this is like the model itself. I don't think this is. No, this is the model that I use for exporting into Unity to turn it into the VROID. It's actually a VSF avatar file, which lets me have some different shaders and stuff, which does cause some issues. Some software doesn't like that, but most of the stuff I work with is fine. And there's all the various blend shapes. They go into talking. Man, I made this so long ago now. Obviously, I made this before I started streaming. And I've learned a bit since then. But the majority of the modeling that I do is like hard surface modeling, like the video game consoles and, games to go on my game shelf. So anytime I have to work with trying to make like outfits or accessories for this guy, it's a bit of a challenge because a lot of that stuff just doesn't line up. You got to be a lot more careful with like deformable models with your topology. Now, most of this stuff doesn't really deform, but it pays to look into it. So let's take a look at the previous helmet that I had. I think I have just helmet. What's that? Oh, that's my hair. The only piece of hair that moves. Also, if you ever want to see my teeth. It's my teeth. There's a tongue in there as well. If you were curious. It's not great. It actually used to have like the Travago guy. It's Travago. The guy, that guy for the commercial who's got his, he's showing a lot of teeth like the whole time he talks. Yeah, the guy weirded me out a little bit. I used to have the blend shape of the tongue out, which I think I may have in here. It's one of the AR kit blend shapes. Coupled with nothing else, the tongue just floats out there. And I actually had to turn it off because it would just trigger all the time. Like the tracking software I use like thinks my tongue is constantly out. And it didn't care. It didn't care if my mouth was closed. That tongue would just be like blip, 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 all the time. So I actually had to turn that off. But the AR kit stuff, like if you make a Vroid with Vroid Studio, it has mostly like these blend shapes here. Let me move myself out of the way here. It's mostly like these blend shapes. Man, you can't even probably see. But it's basically just like the, how would you call them? They're just the basic letters, and that's how it forms your speaking. But there's more you can do with that. I mean, you can do pretty much anything in blend shapes. Yeah. But there's an AR kit, which is the Apple tracking stuff, which only really works with iPhone. I know there's some Android apps and some software you can use a webcam, but it's made for like Apple specifically has an API for it that has some other stuff. You get stuff like mouth smile right and mouth smile left, and they're like little small like pieces of like expression on there. They don't really stack up to much individually, but it helps give like, that makes the animation a little bit smoother. The facial animation's a little bit smoother on stuff. But then you got to go into Unity and it's a whole thing. I think Apple tracks his waifu tentacles. That apple, yeah. Jump Scorpio ready for battle. I am. But yeah, you can do a lot. You could even do, like you can save motion on the armature to blend shapes. Some models will use like a jawbone, and that's how they'll move the mouth. The eyes have bones, but sometimes you just, depending on the type of model, you may just use those to rotate and then save it as a blend shape. That's more common with like low poly models. But a lot of times those are just like the eyes are just a texture that gets swapped out. Anyway, I'm getting way off topic on this stuff. So I can look at, I don't like that like makes it so that I cannot reach the bottom on this. I want this to take up less space. There we go. It's the wrong scroll. That's why. Get that UI just right. Get a knife your eyes out. You worry about the knife bones. That one right there is my brain bone. That's why I don't think so good. I actually think that's the hair, which is just an anchor point for other stuff. The source of Jum's power. It is. I spent a fair amount of time in Blender. I didn't get to do much in Blender last year. I was really tied up, and I usually do this stuff offline, but it's fun to do streams now and then. It's just a bit stressful because I just kind of fumble around with stuff until I find something that works. And a lot of times I go over things and it's like, yeah, that's really the wrong way to do it. So I always say, like, I'm not an expert. I sometimes I fall into the habit of speaking with some sense of authority. It's a bad side effect from jobs I've had where my job was to be the person that had an answer, even if I didn't. And you just kind of had to develop the skill of always speaking with authority, even if you didn't really know the answer. And it's hard to deprogram out of that. So a lot of times in Blender, like, I don't know. I ain't got the answer. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I can't really, this is really meant to teach you so much. So it's kind of deformed. Okay. Did I mean to push that side in? I must have for the other parts of it. So this was the Mega Man helmet, all the component pieces of it. And then the cylinder, just the earpieces. I'll probably reuse the earpieces. I could just change the color on them because they look pretty identical. They're not that different. This actually came out pretty well. You barely see them when they're on the model. I'll put the helmet on. Yeah, they're there. There's a lot of detail you can just hide because nobody will ever see it. The authority on Blendin. I wish. Maybe someday I'll feel like I am, but so this was basically just a sphere that I added in. It has several modifiers on it. Mirror modifier, so that everything stays symmetrical. So the actual model here, I can hide this. This is the actual model here. Everything else is just mirrored. So you get a nice perfect symmetry going there. There's other options for that. Mirror modifier tends to work very well for that. There's a solidify, which gives it the thickness, which is not always perfect, but it's good enough for what I was doing. And then a subdivision modifier. Just a very simple one there. So let me hide some of this stuff. Go back. I want to take a look at the helmet I did, which has all of those modifiers have been applied. So you can see that subdivision modifier increased the poly count on this quite a bit, which gives it a nice smooth appearance. And another effect of it is that you get generally, but not always, more even sized in your faces, which is good for texturing. The more even and clean your spaces are, that is a problem there. These are the better time you'll have texturing. What's up, Judd? Welcome in. How you doing? That's a bigger issue if it's deformable. If it's a static object that doesn't get squished or moved or deformed, like it's never gonna be bent or twisted like my face is, it's not such an issue. I can see several issues here, and you can kind of see lighting issues. There's like a little weird lighting going on here. That's because this polygon is not flat. This one probably also. There should probably be another couple cuts here. I'm not gonna modify this. It's already done. It's already done. I have it, but you know, these can get pretty bad. And so what is going on with this face here is that it is not flat. You've got these three vertices here are basically on the same plane, and this one is lower. And so it kind of folds. You really can't do that with 3D modeling. You really should have another split here so that it can fold over. Otherwise you get weird stuff. It's mostly just kind of eyeballing how I did this last one. You can see the differences in the helmet design. This is a lot sharper of a point to it. Let me hide that armature. It's my way. There's a lot sharper point on it. This little fin is one solid piece instead of these little broken up pieces. But you can also see where they pulled design elements from this. We still got the earpieces. This may come down a little bit further, but I may just leave it where approximately like the size where this is at. I thought about whether I could just reuse this and just incorporate the X elements into it. And I may give that a go to start with. I don't think this is something I'll get on the first try. Just add in the other stuff to it as I go along. Because mostly, you know, we got to change the colors, obviously. We need this shape, this little light up thing. I don't know. I guess it's a sensor we'll put in there. And then this fin, which a lot of times I've seen in other fan art, this is kind of raised up a little bit It forms like a neat little M on the front of the face. And I thought maybe I would just start completely over on this because this has a pretty, and I may still do that, or I may just see if I can adjust the shape of this, because the Mega Man helmet has like a round kind of shape to it that may also not be totally accurate to Mega Man. The X helmet is a lot sharper. It's like this would cut up and then this would raise up a little bit and then go like straight down. So let's see first if we can take this sphere, what we can do with this. If I straighten this out, shall we straighten this out? This way. Oh, I've got proportional editing, which I don't want. Probably not that. Maybe both of them. So one thing I can do is I could go in and mark sharp on bits of this. Probably want to go in and recut some polys there. You. I don't want to intrude on my eyes too much. Something a little bit like that. Not quite, though. This is a lot of my Blender time, is just staring and thinking about it. I wonder how I can get these to be sharper edges. And the one way to do it is if we just do this over Big X helmet you mentioned. Yes. Anyway, let's bring a new sphere in. See here. Selection, cursor to selected, selection cursor, scale. Is it really? It is really. Probably make it longer. Not sure if the beard gets in the way. Not really. I can space it out. I can space it out. It doesn't have to be totally exact. Can I seal that? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. How does that line up? It's pretty on the money. The big thing is that my head is covered by it. Okay. Looks like about there's where that one cuts off. Okay, I'm fairly satisfied with that. All right, I'm going to start with trying to get rid of everything on one half. Okay, then we'll add a mirror modifier. Turn on clipping. All right, now let's start shaving off bits on the bottom here. It's probably good. Let's make this. That's not going to work for me. That'll work. Okay. So we probably want like an X. The X to be. It can be here. Pretty much cut straight over to say around here, down a bit, and then slice down there. So let's get some knife on this. What I say about there? Yeah, this is the trouble. If you've got toggle X-ray, if you got X-ray on, so you can select through it. A lot of times you'll go to select something, and you're like, "Yeah, I've selected it." No, you selected the one behind it. It's also useful if you're working with this, and you're getting something complicated, you're getting weird stuff going on, which can happen, and I'll show you an example here. All right, so I've just made extrusion, and you'll see something like this, which is two vertices stacked right on top of each other. And that'll cause you some issues. If we were to select this face and grab this, you see there's like a stray vertices just kind of hanging out in there. And that can happen a lot if you're combining objects or doing mirrors, or you accidentally extrude and don't go anywhere with it. It's a pretty easy fix. You just select one, hold shift, select the other one. Now I've got them both selected. Press M to merge. Merge at first, last, doesn't really matter. Now you just got the one. But you don't really get that. You get a lesser effect of that if you're selecting front back. So I just want the front here. But I want to turn this off because when I go to knife, it may end up slicing all the way through the back end, and that's not what I want. So let's go up to, this can cut into my eye a little bit maybe. It goes pretty extreme. We just put right there. We can knife up to there and then slide down a little bit and then slide over the face. We'll give that a shot. Knife up to here. And that's going to make some weird things. So these aren't huge problems for us. What's up, J-Dog? Mr. Clicks, how's it going? So it's probably not going to be a big problem for us, but you generally want to make sure when you're working with Blender that it's all quads, which means there's 4 points. And right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles here, tries, if you will. And that presents some issues. Given where all the cuts are, I don't want to just slide these up and over just yet. But at least some of these, like this is going to be gone, that one's going to be gone. So you're just going to be left with 2, so we can work around those. So that's fairly extreme. That may not be extreme enough, but we'll see. Let me turn this on real quick. And just take this down to like here. I can go all the way down to this. And then the rest of the way is just we can cut it down to cut it down in this one. Give that a shot. You can always edge slide some of these things around. Those are very close, but this is all going to be gone here. Let's get rid of this. I could select face as well. Okay, it's a problem that'll take care of itself here. So I'm going to select all of these to get rid of them. All right. Let's see if I can dissolve the vertices if that causes. Nope. Just clear out the vertices. Okay. I don't know. Have I gone too far? Have I gone too far? You can see quite a bit. I'm liking the overall shape of it. I am slicing into the beard. However, the beard clipping through is fine. Oh, Flash. Clicks is not Mr. Diddly Tingle. His name is like Cross something or other. This is yet more of that confusion from YouTube changing to people's usernames. Clicks is the artist formerly known as J Money. I think I saw you call him Dilly before, which confusion is understandable because of the name change. Unless Mr. Dilly Tingle showed up, but I don't think I've seen him yet. Yeah, it's so confusing. And I don't help it because I see Clicks and I know that's J Money, and I see Cross and I know that's Mr. Dilly Tingle. Yeah, it's very annoying. I don't know why they did that. So I'm liking this so far. I think maybe I went too extreme here. I think I went back too far on this. So I think I could go a little bit further in here. Okay. Let's do like here. Threw me off a little close and brought the screen up. Usually go by name. Yeah. Yeah, it's odd. Cause then I'm like I know you by this name. Do I keep calling you this name, or do I just say like, "What's up, Clicks"? Go from here to this point here. And where did I make these cuts here? Let's see, can I dissolve those edges without breaking something? I think I can. Okay. Let's give this a try now. A lot of trial and error. Nope, not that one. Do. Didn't expect to see Jump's eye sockets today. Oh yeah, you get the whole. It's very weird when I take that down, because you can see my eyes are a lie. It's all hollow. It's not actually like an eyeball in there. It's just a pocket in which the eye resides. It's an illusion. Let's go ahead and replace the current helmet on the mono now. Yes. So the helmet I have right now is for regular Mega Man games, which I'd also include the Game Boy games in there. This will be the Mega Man X helmet. I don't know. Is that too long? Should just be more extreme. I feel like it should be half of that and then down a little bit, then over. If I take it down here. Like about there. Let's give that a shot. Don't forget that one. Oop, no. That's why. There we go. There we go. So that's a little bit more like it. You need to make it replace the eyebrows for an angry look. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have, like, my eyes are not as gigantic as X's. Like, they go all the way up, but that's pretty in there. It's pretty in there. I could make this come down lower. Let's cover the eyes. What's up, Reem? How's it going? The Adam Sandler movie Blendin here. I don't think I saw that. That must have been one of the ones that I'm like, nah, I've given up on you, Sander. What's up, panels? How's it going? All right, let's bring some of them back. I feel like this should be lower then. So let's put this back in here. Let's go like here. Closer to the nose. Up to, say, that point. Or even a little bit further in. Okay. A lot of little adjustments. The 400 subs recently. Ooh, that is exciting. Congratulations. Well done. Definitely angry looking there. Kind of liking the shape so far. Okay, so we got some stuff going on here. So let's dissolve these edges. Let's produce some oddities there. What can I do here? If I bring this down, I can get rid of this. We do have a nice triangle right there. Alternately, this would be better here. Merge that there so that way we have a quad still, even though this is like, well, now this isn't a quad, but we can cut that over. That will be a problem there. Triangles. We're going to design Mega Man X Battle Network games. I like those. I like Mega Man Legends a lot. I like the looks of that, of the various characters in that, and like their cybernetic bodies or armor or both. The movie sucks. I would expect nothing left from Mr. Adam Sandler. So I could. I'm gonna move this, slide this up. I could make this like one poly there, but I don't want that. So if I cut across here, that's a quad. Cut across here, that's a quad. That would make that a quad, and then I can cut across here. Okay, let's do this. To here. So I've got quads. I don't know how essential this is. And then can I just oop. Yeah, this will work. All right. This may mess some stuff up, but all right, now we got quads all the way around. That's a really oddball shaped quad right there. I'll tell you that much. If we take this, okay, let's reference the active element scale Z0. I'm gonna bring that up to there. We'll take this. Let's see about this. Merge at last. So it's a less goofy looking quad. Now we've got an issue here. Quad. But then this is, if we could cut this further here. Oh, I keep adding more of those. Just chilling editing. Played some Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Nice. It's nice. I could chop this in here and just have one try. That would make a try. Let's just leave that as is for right now. We'll see if that presents an issue. What else can I do here? I could... Oh, there we go. Now we got a triangle here. We still got a triangle here. Yeah, it's goofy. It's goofy. But it is a quad. Oh, that's gonna... That's likely gonna cause me issues. Okay, and we got these. Which no longer want. Any stray verts in there? Nope. Okay. So we're probably going to flare out the bottom by dragging that point forward. And then we may slice up this because it's not like a straight down. We may slice this up somewhat. Okay. Let's see what we're working with right now. Let's put on... Base 1. Base color. Can I grab? There we go. Install the shade smooth. All right, let's add some modifiers. Oh. I don't know how I demirrored it. That's weird. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I like the shape. I'm mostly happy with the shape. I think the bottom portion is going to be an issue. It never looks good from the sides. Because this should like be like right in my face here. That should probably be more straight down, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, because that like kind of curves in there too. I think it's fine. It'll look strange from an angle. All right. Now let's add a subdivision surface modifier. But we're gonna make it simple. Or do we want it simple? If you make it simple, you'll retain sharp edges like this. If you don't, it'll round things around like this. Now, I think if I... Where does that go? All right, why does this end here? I think we've got... Oh yeah, here we go. We can just get rid of this. I missed one. Delete that vert. Okay. Now we can alt select this. We get that whole edge. Can I mark this sharp? Edge. Mark sharp. It doesn't really do anything for this subdivision surface. Business. Because I want some smoothness there that I get from the subdivision, but I want this line to be sharp. How do I do that? It's like the woman from The Incredibles. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Let's see here. Advanced. Well, I kept that. It's not keeping these corners. All right. Let's clear the sharp on that. Okay, so that'll keep that. If I tell it to keep the corners and put the subdivision before the mirror. It's 20 minutes behind. I can't even imagine what you were looking at. This is looking like a Proto Man helmet too. Question mark? I'll just leave that for later because its current shape is pretty good. Now I want those edges there to stay in place, to stay sharp. Can I tell it, hey, this is a corner vertex crease? No. Oh. Yeah, okay. That'll work. Dun, 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 dun. And then this one. Okay. So now we've got some sharp edges there. I'm mostly happy with that. I can see some weirdness there. Oh, it's gonna do some weird stuff there, isn't it? Okay. Now we can do a solidify. Let's try something else. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. Let's make like a backup. All right. Let's apply. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of. That's a lot of. All right. This is gonna be crazy here. Extrude. Scale. I'm gonna scale it inward. Decent thickness. We got some weird jankiness going on here, some very tight curves. We could probably make some cuts there, but it won't be super noticeable. I mostly just do this like you won't even see it for the most part on there. You can kind of see it on this if you look at where the light is. It's because like the normals are kind of goofed there. It's not super duper noticeable. I'm not super concerned about it, but if you were really worried about that stuff, these issues here are things that would have to be addressed because you're getting some weird shading here from having weird uneven lines like this. Should be further back. Let's see if I can just it's not really doing it. I feel like either way this is going to cause me grief, so let's just not worry about it. Well, we should worry about it because right now it's poking out very weirdly. Let's get the other one there. I feel like that just made it worse. We're not sticking with this anyway, but this is just to check the thickness on that. So the difference is, I think that's because of the vertex crease we put on it, which I just did because I wanted it to be sharp. All right. Extra thick. You could also just use a modifier to do that. But it is sometimes goofy. Okay. We can add solidify. Is it the solidify that's doing it? Or it's got to be that vertex crease, right? I didn't really notice that so much in the other ones. Vertex. Smooth. still get a nice line there. It looks like it's not jutting out horrifically. Let's look at it from a different angle. Yeah. Smooth that. What does this one look like? No. I think it looks better. We still get the desired effect without a prodding out there. We still have some weird lighting issues here. But I think it's fine. Okay. Let's take a look at the base of this. Now the Mega Man helmet that I made, I just kind of universally like chopped off the bottom. I think I want to slice about this much off and then flare the edges out a little bit. So let's give that a shot. Helmet. So about to like there. We can come back to it. Yeah, it's still a helmet, but it's like a little bit up off the neck. Let's see where that fits in. Oh, perfect. Okay. That can probably go. Whoop. All right, let's get rid of these. Oh yeah, that's very goofy looking. And it's just slice clean through here. If I take that, that does not make it better. Okay. That's an issue right there. What does the rest of this look like? I get this butt piece here. There we go. Looks a little broken and janky. I really need to put like another edge over there. And do. I think I got two different issues going on here. Oop. It's the hide button. Can I dissolve this edge? Just knife that in there. Okay. Slide these around a bit. Okay. There we go. There's a little bit of a right there. It does not need to be there, but it's fine. You'll never see it. Okay. Now, we'll take this and let's turn on proportional editing. Let's grab this from the Y. X's helmet apart from zeros. Yeah, just X's helmet. What's up, Nova Phoenix? Welcome in. Yeah, just working on X's helmet right now. Smooth that out a little bit. It's mostly out of the beard. It's not quite like stabbing forward, but his chin is kind of under it, but it depends. I think I'm mostly satisfied with that shape. All right. If I shove these cylinders on the side, that works pretty well. This image is not. I'm going more off of this one. I could slide these down more. But I think I'm okay with it, so it doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. They are lowered down more. Drag him down. I wonder approximately where my ears would be. Let's duplicate this. Almost looks like a wig. A little bit. A little bit. All right. Oh, this does have a mirror modifier on it. We can grab them on the Z. Poking out just a little bit there. Let's line it up a little bit more there. I don't know, does it look better with a little bit of edge on it or not? I think that looks pretty good as such. Yep, and I ran into the same thing with this before. All right. We can try proportional. I don't know how that got there down there. Let's grab that whole face. Okay, that way it's not clipping out. That's why that other helmet was like weird and dented. Okay. That's that. Okay, let's change the color on this. Get that shade in there. And then otherwise, I think that's good. It might be better if they're more pronounced, but which we could accomplish by moving them more central. Could move them forward a bit more. Give that a shot. Yeah, I think I'm digging it. All right, so now we want to get the M, which I could just do with texturing. Just mark some seams off and texture it. Because depending on the artwork, it may or may not be raised up. So we could just do a different color on it. But first we need to get this textured up. We need to go to about, I don't know, here. There. Comes down to the ear. So it'd come down to like here. So we can cut some lines. This is gonna look real goofy. Definitely comes more straight down than that. Definitely producing some jacked up edges in there, which we could surely clean up here. But just say cut some lines was not on it. you just gotta get some lines in there. I'm just gonna chop them up real fine. Break out the old credit card there. All right. That makes some of these things somewhat redundant, but also not. Like I gotta try there. I don't think that needs to be there, but if I start sliding around, things get real jank. I'm sure it'll clear itself up. Okay, let's... So I could just go through and make a new material here. And that'll probably be fine. Let's do that one too. Okay. Let's call that dark blue. Make a new one. Max light blue. And then assign it to that. Put those ears back in there. Oh. Yeah, that definitely, yeah. It gets the idea across. 100% Colombian code. I just coughed some slurry onto my arm here. All right. Well, I'm not going to stick with that. Okay. Bum. Let's kind of duplicate that. Here, the selection. Yeah, definitely some problem areas here. Oh, that just makes another triangle, doesn't it? Well, that doesn't help that. Pum, 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 pum. Maybe. Yeah, I'm doing this like in a very not great way. And then once you get into it, it's like, all right, now I gotta fix all this. Like, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, we'll try this. Okay. Dissolve that. Nope. Dissolve the edge. Okay. Facing there. Great. Great. That's what I want. Nice sharp edge there. I just got this weirdness. There. Dun, 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 dun. And then right down and okay, so at least that's complete and closed off. Okay. Now, what's I? Not that. I scale it somewhat. If I scale it, it goes all crazy here. Dun, 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 dun. You know what? Let's recalculate the normals. Oh boy. That's not really what I was looking for there. Tell you what, let's get rid of solidify. Extrude it out a bit there. We need to okay. Reference active element scale x0. We're just going to get all of these pinched back together here. And hopefully, doesn't really have to, because it does kind of leave a little gap depending on the artwork you're looking at there. So it's not that big of a deal if they don't completely join in. However, clipping. What are you doing? Do want to close up. Okay, let's bring that helmet back. this one, we will make this the light blue. Bum, 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 bum. Probably grab that other one there. Where's the ears? Yeah, that's the only thing is the ears there. However, I think I have a solution to contend with that. Also, this corner down here is not good. Why isn't it? No, we lost a lot of sharpness going into that. So although that looks good, we're losing a lot of sharpness there on the corners and the edges. I think the general idea is there, but it's too roundy round. It's because I got rid of the solidify. I don't really need the solidify. Ugh! Oh Lord. Oh, that's such a mess. Okay. I should have kept one. Go back quite a bit here. I kept the solidify on there. Yeah, that's fine. That didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So let's just get rid of that. Let's see, for the sake of argument here, we missed this one last time. Yeah. I don't think this will keep sharpness, but I'll try this. Yeah, see, that doesn't keep the sharpness, but also like the solidify has a field day with it. Whoa! Okay, let's not. Dun, 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 dun. So I don't think those edges will all be there. Do you lose the sharpness? Oh, is that because of this? No! I want to... There we go. It's kind of there. Fill that. No, dang it! I feel like I'm just making this worse. We got a nice sharp edge there. I really need that edge. I really need this edge to be sharp. But the issue is that it's not recognizing this as a corner. It's getting closer to being a corner. Corner enough. We tricked it into having 4 vertices. That goes nowhere and does nothing. All right. Good enough. Now... So the issue I'm having, which is just like I'm going about this real wrong. It's trying to like carve something up or embellish something on a curved surface to get like precise straight lines while having the subdivision modifier on. Yeah. Trying to get like straight clean lines while also trying to get things smoothed out. You're kind of fighting against everything. Let's take this. We're gonna color this. Bring the helmet back. We've got Z fighting going on there, right? We've got Z fighting going on. If we take this and we just scale it up a little bit, it stands out from the rest of it. Am I too far out with it? I don't think so. I think I'm okay. I was gonna wonder if this is like too far out here. I don't think it is. Right? Okay. So now let's take this base helmet. We'll put that solidify modifier back in there. Ooh. Gonna take these. Okay. So that's fine. Even though it's like this jams out a little bit, we can make this all work after the fact. So I can chop this up after the modifiers have been applied. It's looking kind of weird, but I think it'll work. After the modifiers have been applied, I can hack this up. I can line these vertices up on the edges here and kind of combine this in. I can just leave it as it is. I can delete stuff behind it. Probably clean up these edges maybe a little bit. Just align them. And then I can just select this stuff and make it part of, you know, that same palette. Or I could leave them darker as well. But I could make this part of the same material so it matches the color. And it'll be fine. Now we've got the fun part, which is the tube. Gonna get a tube run up over that. Don't forget to save. Okay. I'm gonna duplicate that again. Just gonna call it the M base. Let's take this. Apply, apply, apply. All right. issue here. That's going straight across. It doesn't go, it goes up to this point. I could try shrink wrapping something to this. Which I think I will. I'll keep this around to, I can put them live fire. So what I'll do is I'll make, or at least try to make, these kind of shapes and then see if I can cause it to shrink wrap on this and how well that's going to work. So I'll add like a rectangle and kind of work it into the shape we want. And then kind of drop it down on there and then get this in there too. And then this will be coloring. So it's coming together. It's coming together. It's a lot of just me fiddling and being picky. I really feel like this should go in more, but I like it the way it is. Kind of mixing and matching because this is just kind of there, but I don't want it to. I want my head to be like encased in this thing. Question here. Okay, I got to take a very short break here. So I was just checking messages. I got to go respond to something here. It's about break time anyway. I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. I'm gonna see if I can get this tube. Normally something like this, you know, I say normally, but what I would try to do is just like select a straight line through this and just kind of extrude it out and raise it up off of that. But we don't have a straight line, like a straight rectangle through all the points converge in this area. So I'm gonna try a different tactic here. Because I think that's more or less what I did with the I went there. Kind of had to have, because let's see, do I have any subdivision solidify? Well, that's weird. I can't even see vertices on this. Can I hide that? Let's hide this. Oh, this is very weird. How on earth did I get this edge? I can see that I just like solidified it and fattened it up there, and that worked. I don't think I just like manually like retopologize these things. I'm gonna delay it on my break here because I'm very curious about this. Curve off of this. Oh, you know what I may have done? I may have just taken the center line there, May have just taken the center line and then extruded out, and that wouldn't line up because I could just drop those down. So if I just grab this, we'll Shift D, duplicate it here at the selection. Extrude X. Aha. Oh, that'll work. There we go. Bring it back. We can drop it down, fit it in more. We'll just delete some vertices. That's how I did that before. Okay. I can clean that up. That'll work. That'll work. And I can make it taper on one end or the other. Cool. Okay. I'll be back in just a few minutes, and we will continue this. I think this is going to go all right. This is going to go all right. All right. Be back in a bit. Stay tuned. All right, I'm back. If I remember to unmute. I had to go take a quick phone call. My little nephew was sick today, and I was hanging out with him during the day, and they're calling to check on when he could take more medication, when he could be drugged further. And it was time. So it's a good thing they contacted me. Oh, some on my monitor here. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I like that one. Let's get the head back. No, not that. Not that. Yeah. We'll just do it like that. What's up, Skyo? How's it going? How you doing? Welcome in. Is that a skateboard? You skateboarding? That's one way to get ahead. Oh, that's awful. Joshua, I watched your video about the Frogger game. That looked abysmal. That looked horrifying. That bit where you're I don't know what the hell was going on. You're like shoving something over at a cow that then floats up in the air and spits out a key. What was going on? What is the deal with that? All right, jury day. Yeah, it was I was outside this morning. I don't know, it was like 7 or 8 in the morning, and it was raining a little bit. And then while I was sitting out there with the dog, the rain became snow. And I was like, oh no. And I knew it was coming. I knew the snow was coming, but I still wasn't happy about it. Okay. Let's bring the helmet base back in. Let's get all of these out of here. Extrude along the X. You know, we should probably clear some of the back. You ever seen the back of his helmet? No, they first said to use magic. You know, the speed spell, so I kicked it. That happened. I was so confused by it. Like, what is going on here? What is happening? Where does that end? It's got to end somewhere. I'm just going to decide arbitrarily that it ends here. Don't think it was supposed to happen. That game looks just awful. Just awful, terrible. I'm going to get a bit wide with it. This is where things start to fall out of alignment on things. Well, it's fine because the little jewel thing is going to eat up a bunch of space there. It may be too large. still say. I do want to get rid of those vertices. Maybe that one. Is it just where we were before? I think that might just be exactly where we were before. Maybe it was a little bit higher before. All right, can I thicken that up a bit? If we solidify this. Well, that's probably a little bit too much. Let's see. 1.5. Let's do. There we go. So now it's like in the helmet there. I think that's pretty good. Object. Smooth. Oh, nope, not that. Just that. Oh, no, I lost some of that thickness. Based off the normals there. Nope. Even thickness on the rim. No, I got that. You know what? Okay. 0.5. That's good. We can fix the normals after the fact. I'm kind of taking advantage of it being busted. So the normals are flipped, and that's why it's like going down into the helmet there. If I flip it around, otherwise I kind of lose that, but I can fix that. You can see this weird dark edges because the normals are getting weird here. See the background loading as you walk. Going soft on that first little platform. Remember Jack and Daxter, better camera. So Ratchet and Clank, yeah. Early 3D, like PS1 3 to PS2 3D, even in the PS2, PS3 somewhat. The cameras were like a mess. It seemed like there was always like problems with that stuff. All right, let us change that to the light. I could probably do the same thing with this piece too, and then go in and like clean it up. Yeah, I think I can make that work. Playing as Temple of the Frog, Tommy's already pretending the game never happened. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. Okay. Let's do that. Let's take this and apply some modifiers on it. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. What's that? Okay. Okay. It's like, why isn't this, where was my, all right. So let's see here. Can I get this? This will be fine. Okay, let's clear everything else out here. Body. Doom, 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 doom. If I just did like a lasso select, this would be a lot quicker. I just want the top. Need that. I just want to scale X a little bit. Medium point. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Scale X. We're scaling all the X's there. All right. Now we're going to get this, and this. Let's just do all of those. Turn this off. Shift D on that. Separate my selection. Extrude along the X, just like we did the previous one. Okay. Do the same with the modifiers. Change this to -0.5. This one's down in there. That's probably apropos. Let's see. Wheel this one in. I think it was in quite a bit. It's nice and rounded. We'll wheel that back in there. Thin it out a little bit more. You're fine. We can fix that. We can fix that. Should be straighter though. Yeah, I think that's looking good. Okay, and then we will next red. We can honestly just use the same red that's in there. Yeah, that'll look nice. Object shade smooth. Smooth it up. All right, Shift D. I'll just call this the jewel. Call this the fin. Yeah, we're essentially going to do the same thing we did the last one. We're going to apply all of these. And we're going to go into edit mode. Try and grab all the vertices on the top and only the ones on the top. See, make sure that's good. Okay. Let's just scale it along all dimensions. Good, good. I'll grab this edge up here. Let's grab Z. Or can we rotate it? On no, rotating was not the thing. Let's grab Y. No, let's grab Z. Grab Y. Actually, Can I magnetofy this? No, that didn't do it. That didn't do it. Yeah, it's close enough. Okay. You guys, not you guys, just this group. Spread these out a little bit here. I'm sure there's a better, more automatic way to do this stuff, but dun, dun, dun. I don't know. I think that looks pretty good. Dun, dun. Bring that body back in here. Probably won't look as metallic. I think that's fairly passable. Fairly passable Mega Man there. Let's see here. Let me get rid of the fin. These are kind of janked up here. Active element, scale X0. Maybe not. There we go. This just smooths out some of the shading so that we don't have a bunch of weird cuts there. Let's put another one here. Same deal. Okay. I don't know. It's pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with it. Good enough for my means. The actual finished product will look different. It'll probably be like shiny like this one. The colors may vary somewhat. We still got a little bit of cleanup work to do here. So that's good. That's good. And then we'll join them all together. Duplicate them all together here. Okay. Just call this pre-apply. We'll go through and apply everything here. Doot. And same on this. Shift D, we'll duplicate that. As long as you haven't applied the modifiers, you can always go back and redo some stuff. Okay, so here's the weirdness, but we can fix this. So first we'll go into this. Put this corner in here. I will put the cursor there. Go to this one. Let's see here if I can just Shift S. Selection to cursor. That's the most egregious spot. I think there's other sections that are a little bit finicky. Cursor to selected, but the most egregious location is that. And that does make some weird shading, but it is fine. I think the rest of it is really not anywhere near as noticeable. Where there's a very small gap that you're not going to see on stream. I can go through and like zip, clean all this stuff up, but it's just not super duper worth it. So now we'll go in this and let's see if I can. Yes. Do I want all of it? No. I don't think I want the bottom part of this transaction. Oh! Okay, so yeah, we just want no. We just want the inner lip there. I don't think we want the whole bottom. Well, we just do the whole bottom. Might as well. It kind of crosses over. We can adjust later. Actually, we can take. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll just take it from back there. From downtown. Okay, and we'll take all of that. New material there. We already have the material. And some light blue. And we'll assign that. So that blends in fairly well, I think. It could be weird line work there, but it's okay. Or we could make that a darker shade. Send it to whatever, but it gives it the congruity, like what this shows. This shows like an even lighter color in it, so I don't know what is better, what is more accurate for the light blue. The nice thing, since it's all using the same material, it'll affect everything. What if we made it lighter? The top fin definitely not. I think it's good. Should make Sailor Moon hair for stream. Sailor Moon. I don't know. Hair is tricky for me, mostly because of the texturing. Okay, so now we've got all of this stuff. Let's make a new collection here. Max helmet, and let's get let's get to cleaning all this stuff up here. Okay, and I'll make a new collection in this. This is all of the stuff that we basically have, that just in case we want to go back and change stuff later. And we'll make one for reference. Like I can, like the model of the hair. Oh, I didn't see what that message was. I could model the hair. Texturing is like a big issue for me because I lack many artistic talents, and so when I go to model stuff, it tends to fall apart. How does this jewel look? Does this jewel look okay? Should this jewel be shorter or fatter on the end there? I think it's thin enough on the end. No, I think it's fine. See the jump protector of sludge and slurry. Put slug and not sludge. Oh, okay. Okay, we got another ref there. Can hide the ref for right now. All right. What's the ears? What is in the ears? Let's find out. Helmet ear. Known assign. Select. Okay. Ear red. Select. Okay. Silver. Okay. A lot of texture on that. Let's put this gunmetal. It's going to cell shading can be used to ignore texture. I'm not sure how that works on 3D. So the way that cell shading works in 3D, there's two ways to do it. One is with texturing. So, which I might have to explain more. If you look at something like Mega Man Legends, and there's a very good video out there on the modeling in Mega Man Legends where a guy, is analyzing the models and talking about the texturing, and he makes his own, where you're basically like, you're drawing in all of the shadows. You have to color in the texture all of the shadows on a presumed light source. Like everything on this model is lit from this area and has these like baked in shadows, basically. More modern systems will do cell shading by use of a shader. And you can do that in 3D. So the challenge for me is there's a world of difference between setting something up shader wise or lighting wise within Blender. But anything that goes to my model, my 3D model, goes into Unity, which has its own type of shading system. And then that has to be exported to work with VSeeFace or vtuberEN or whatever else. And depending on what format you make, that format will have limits on what kind of shaders it will support. And so there is ways to do cell shading on that. For live stuff, it gets a little bit touchy because when you're doing like games and stuff, like you can cheat on a lot of things, you can push it a lot of ways. I haven't found a great one for VSeeFace. So right now, everything, if I want to put shadows on stuff, like it has to be part of the texture mainly. And the way I get around my inability to effectively texture stuff and have it look good enough that I want to put it on during stream. I'm working on it, but it's slow just because I just don't have a good sense of the stuff. And I don't have a good workflow for it either when I try to texture things. Texturing solely within Blender is kind of painful, I found. But then going to a graphic editor and doing texturing in there and applying it back in was just very slow. So I don't have a good setup for that. Most of what I do, like the helmet I'm wearing right now, it's just a shader that applied basically like a glossy overcoat to it. And that I'm pretty much reliant on that to give it a sense of dimensionality without actually having to like color the shadows in on stuff. So anything that I do like in 3D, when you're in Blender, I don't even know where my light, or if I even have a light in this scene. This may choke stuff out. Yeah, there's no lights. There's no light in the scene. But I can bring a light into it. We'll just put a point light. So right now, like this has like a very simple shader. Normally what I would do, like when I've done for models and stuff, is I would use the shading in this to add some noise to the stuff, some variance to its reflexivity, or the roughness basically, and that gives it like a different appearance. It makes it a bit more complete. But that stuff doesn't work for, like, I can't bring that stuff directly over to Unity. So Mario stuff from the Mario 64. Good to understand. I most want to do PS1 and 64 era looking models. Yeah. So there is a lot of information out there. Get rid of this slide. There's a lot of information out there on making PS1, and I haven't really seen much N64, but there's a lot of crossover between PS1 and N64. Like you could make something following the PS1 tutorials. You could make something that looks N64ish as well. The big things are low poly count, because they're limited on how many polygons you can have on screen at the time and in a model. So there's usually a range that's really on the low side of polygons. and then a low resolution texture. You're gonna have something that's like, I don't know, 256 by 256 or less pixels to make the texture on. But it really is an art that I fooled around with it a little bit, and the model I was happy enough with, but I could never get the texture looking very good. I could make a texture that looked about on par with like Alone in the Dark, where basically like there was just color. The skin is this color, and that's more or less what like most of my model is. I mean, I've done some other stuff. This isn't really reflective of like the textures that I'm using for the current model. This is just like a reference there. But that's someday I'm gonna go back to and keep pushing forward to try and get better at texturing, so that I can get like make a decent looking low poly model for some stuff. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. It's not amazing, fantastic, but so a lot of the challenge I find with making stuff like this on my model, and my mouth is almost certainly going to clip through this. I can check some of this here. Probably fine. Yeah, never mind. It's probably fine. I really like to make that, but yeah, because my head is just a big pumpkin shaped melon head, like a lot of the kind of symmetrical look of stuff gets thrown off. All right, let's do what I came here to do. We got the ears, we got the base, we got the fin, we got the jewel, we got the M. I'm gonna Shift D, duplicate all of that. I think we do in here, is it Control J? Or is it just J? There we go, Control J. Okay. So turn all our stuff off, and we've got one complete model. That is not terrible. I can see some these things here either yeah, there's some duplication going on there. Did I grab? Let's go back to duplicate objects. Let's move these to the backup. Base one. Make sure I didn't grab an extra. Fin base, jewel base. So we got ears, helmet. Yeah. Okay. Before I go forward with this. Okay. So I've got some weird duplicates going on here. Let's try. Oh, you know what? We need to go through and I know what's going on. There we go. Probably. Yeah, there we go. So the ears still had the mirror modifier, and then once I combined everything, it was like doubling up on everything, basically mirroring it, and it was already there. So there we go. I get some weirdness here where I cut those lines. I could probably apply some filters and effects to automatically try and clean that stuff up, but we'll go forward with that. Okay. The next thing I want to do here is let's take a look at the armature. I need to take a look at the armature there. I want to armature this thing. Okay. So we're going to take the bone here and edit this. This is the head bone, I believe, should be. The head bone. Okay. I'm going to take that cursor to selected. Then we're going to go to this. Selection to cursor. Okay. Cursor to selected. So that should make a head bone. I'll hide this armature here. I need to not hold out. Viewport display in front. Okay, that'll make it show up in front of everything else. So now we have a head bone that is the same size, shape, location, everything as the one in my head. And so that'll make it easier for me when I bring this into Unity, because I could just tell it the head bone's connected to the head bone, and I won't have to sit there and like fiddle around with like, okay, well, let's get it side to side. Let's go over there. Not totally necessary. If there's no transformations going on with the object, in my experience, you could just drag it into Unity and attach it to a bone in there, and it will be fine. This doesn't have any transformations. We don't want it to wiggle at all. I'm going to, let's see here. How do I do this? Control P. Set parent to bone. MXH bone. Okay. Okay. It's all. Wait a minute. I'm probably doing this wrong. I always forget how to do this. Assign. Okay. So if we go to armature, go to pose mode, and the whole thing moves. Okay. Because basically I just told it this bone is the deal. That's your bone. Okay. That's Mega Man X. Now, I don't have set origin to geometry. There we go. Okay. Should be fine. That's a relatively minor thing. All right. So essentially at that point, I would bring this into my model in Unity, my Unity projects, and drag it in, create all of the materials. If I had this textured, like actually had like image textures and so on, set to this, and unwrap this, which is a whole deal. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to assign colors, just like I did with this helmet, which I think gives it a neat kind of cartoony look. I mean, that's just me. I can talk about some of the other stuff I had here. Mega Man, Bomberman, that was just colors turned on, outlining on it, so it's got little outlines on it. I might do an outline for this one too. See how that looks. This I did not make. I made this. I kind of modified this from an outfit in Vroid Studio, and those textures come with like the shading pre-applied to it. Like it's drawn on the texture, and I just made it in that, and then cut the head off of that Vroid and shove the body in my model. You can see the clothes don't really line up. I'm actually kind of surprised, like, well, that shouldn't have like turned on there at all. That's weird. I'm kind of surprised how close like I was able to get the body to the body that I made. Like, I know my anatomy is like definitely not like spot on here with this. Ignore the head. I made the head cartoonishly big intentionally. But like for a first model, man, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty proud. It's got problems. It's got problems for sure. But it's like clearly a humanoid. So there's at least that. These were just a color. Nothing with that. This one had a whole complicated like shader setup. Really a shader, but a whole complicated set of shader nodes. I guess it is a shader set up in Blender, and then I used software, an add-on for Blender to automatically bake the textures so that I could just drop an image file on there, which was it was a real challenge for me, like trying to get like make the sweater and then make like the stripes line up the way I wanted, and I could never quite get it exactly what I wanted, but it was good enough. Same thing here. This is, a texture. I went and did some edits on it. It's just eyes, Santa hat, just colors. It's most of these things because I don't have textures. I think I just like grab some kind of star pattern, and I was like, yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it's just color too. I don't think I have anything that I actually like went and drew the textures for. I mean, I drew like my textures, but like that's not much. I spent a lot of time on the jeans. Like I drew this by hand. All the little like stitches and stuff. You never see my jeans on stream, right? You never see my jeans on stream. But I went in, there's a seam. I put these seams in there, little stitches in the seams, right? I spent a lot of time on a thing that you never see, and then everything else is like, whatever. Man, I did that. Look at it. Yeah. I mean, because I've got like all of the console models that I put together and all of that. I'm pretty proud of that. I definitely put a lot more work into that than I do in the rest of this stuff. All right. I gotta leave this blender and open a different blender. I kind of got myself in a weird situation where I have a lot of files that were made with older versions of Blender, and if I open them in a newer version of Blender, it breaks some things, and I just don't want to deal with fixing them. So I'm just in the habit of having like 3 versions of Blender installed. So let's close out of this. Someday I will make other stuff like a shirt or something like a chest piece. I pretty much only make like the helmets. I only make headwear. I had a hat that I was trying to put together for Snow Bros, but I didn't like it. And that one I tried like doing the texture for, and I was like, I just don't like the look of this. I'm just not into this. Let's see if I can. Today, my naming convention is terrible in these. That's what I was working on today. This is the closet. It has all my consoles in and everything. I gotta scooch some stuff around. I don't know if I'm gonna do that right now. It takes a while to load. I wouldn't be surprised if OBS was like just started choking out. This also has a lot of procedural texture generation going on in it, which looks really nice. It takes a while to load everything up. Like too long. Who else is live? I don't know how much longer. I'm gonna go for a little while longer. There's a new Animal Crossing update out. I think I saw somebody mention that in the new Animal Crossing update, you don't have to carry your crafting supplies around with you. It just pulls it out of your home's inventory. Oh yeah, this takes a bit. This takes a little while. You can already see it over here. I've got my game shelf, and I've got a bunch of games that are just floating out in space that are currently hidden. Just let that finish loading. I have to move them around and put them away. I do it all manually, and it's not a great system. It's not a great system here. Send a new file. My switch to play Animal Crossing again without deleting my save, but no. Yeah, I don't. That's something I absolutely hate with the way Nintendo handles saves and the way they handled like the Animal Crossing on that. I don't get their deal. It's stupid and I hate it. But let me tell you, I hate how all of the modern, I don't know how Xbox does it on their current console, because I don't have one. I don't have an interest in it. But like the PS4 and PS5 and the Switch, they all piss me off that I can't just like back my saves up. I ran into this with my nephew, that he started playing Star Wars on my PS5, and then like he was just playing on my account on the PS5 because he was very young and didn't have a PlayStation account. Then he got his own PlayStation, but he couldn't copy the saves over because like they're tied to my account. You can't use them on a different account. Why? It's ridiculous. This is gonna take a bit. This is the stuff that I hate to say this, because VTuber and the whole thing is like my VTubing model. I spend a lot more time on this stuff, this background stuff that you generally can't even really see during the stream. But it's also the stuff that I'm like the most proud of. When I spit out a render of like the game shelf that I've made in Blender. Like anytime I'm like, oh, you know what I need? I need to make a new case. Like once I've made like it's DVD case, I can use that for many things. Oh, but now I need a Blu-ray case. Now I need a CD case. Now I need a double CD case. Now I need the PAL CD case. Like every time I go through and put this stuff together, I'm like, yeah, this is coming together. And then like nothing happens with my actual model. Nothing happens with that. Because when I make and rendering the stuff in Blender, like I can use procedural generation for it, and like, oh, it looks nice, and it doesn't rely on me drawing stuff. What is out here still? I think it's just the blackness of the void. This is where I do the animation, where I switch scenes in the door. This is the door. That's where the animation is from. It's actually, opening up into this space. There's this painting that you can't really see. And it's been there since the start. It's been there since like day one. My beautiful painting. Nobody can see it and has ever mentioned it in it. At first I was like, oh, no one was intrigued by my horrifying painting. Like they can't even see it. They can't. I put the chat right over it. You can't see anything there. So there's the consoles. That's not even all the consoles. Dreamcast, Twin Famicom aren't here. Is that another one that's not here? Oh, the PS2? Oh, the PS2 was up there. No, PS2 is not in there. These boxes, I gotta tell you, first off, I'm not entirely certain because I bought these digitally, right? All of them. I'm not confident about the size of these boxes, nor am I confident that these are these style. I know at least one of these was. That is like a slip cover over like a 2-piece black cardboard box. The same with these. I played, even though I did play both of these games. No, I played this was like the GOG release of Metal Gear. And I played Metal Gear 2 in an MSX emulator. But I both of the games, my access is primarily from the PS3 Metal Gear Solid collection that has both of the games in it. But I did get the original version of this. So I don't have the MSX versions of these. I'm just guessing at the size of this. Same for Hydlide. The rest of these I can say confidently, like, this is what they are. But those, every time I look at them, like, sooner or later, someone's going to come in here and they're going to know exactly how large these are. I'm not even sure if they had a standard size on these. Like, I try to make a frame of reference based on like how big the cartridge is and pictures of the cartridge inside the case or like the discs. I don't even know if this PC-88 game Highlight should be the same size as these MSX games. No idea. Couldn't find measurements. Anyway, yeah, the Dr. Hauser, which was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying that. There's Overblood. So 1.3% chance it's not 0. Yeah, sooner or later someone will mention it. Wild Arms is coming up on well, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be playing Wild Arms. We'll be kicking off a new RPG adventure. You know what's weird about Wild Arms? This is a 2-disc case, right? But it clearly says on the front here, I don't know if you can see that clearly. It clearly says 1 disc. It's a 1-disc game. It comes in a 2-disc case. It has a manual. I forget if it's the front or the back. I don't have it in front of me right now. It is actually the internals of the case only has the molding for holding 1 disc. So this case can only actually like hold, it only has like the little, like the press fit thing to hold 1 disc. There are still the manual, but the manual isn't so thick that it couldn't fit in a normal jewel case. I'm not sure why they did it. I've always found that very, very odd. Every time I go looking for it, I'm looking for like a single disc, and I'm like passing over the double disc area. Like, why is this here? Oh yeah, because it's 2 discs. Don't know. Also, like the PAL cases, and then occasionally games that released in Japan had this thicker case. I don't know if it's all PAL games, but it's the PAL games that I have this like fat case that's like just a little bit different. Again, I don't know why. It's kind of like how like the Saturn and the Sega CD before it had like these tall boxes. Oh, so did PC Engine stuff and TurboGrafx. I know the TurboGrafx, at least in the US, came in a big cardboard box. I spent a lot of time looking at cases. Spent a great deal of time trying to track down like fonts for stuff. This has the PlayStation emboldened on it. So I gotta make room for these games here, and some of them are real simple and easy. It's Mega Man X. Speak of the devil. I never owned Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo until late last year. The version I had was on DOS, which has some small differences, except for the music. The music is very big, a very big difference. All right, let's scooch these. Just that a little bit more. And we will get in here. This is what I spend my time on, this minutia right here. Making sure that these Nintendo cartridges are a proper acceptable distance apart. Not too close, not too far. We go inside this other one. A little bit more. Just want to just about touch. There we go. There we go. Started learning Japanese this year, literally playing non-translated games, manuals, books, info, Phantasy Star. Oh yeah, Phantasy Star is the next Sunday grind game. This is the original Phantasy Star. Fantasy. It is really difficult to find good images of NES labels. And frankly, like Super Nintendo labels are not that great either. Mostly because both the NES and the Super NES, at least for US releases, the label folds over, right? And so unless someone rips it off, you're not going to get a good flat image. Anything else that just has a label on the front, like people have put that on the scanner, got nice photographs of it. The NES Cart DB has images of the carts. That's close enough. Images of the carts, and I've had to use that to like shop the labels back together again. You may not be able to tell. The NES cartridge was the first thing that I made game cartridge wise, so they're not perfect. I played it once, went to a high level place by accident. Yeah, so the original Phantasy Star, the Master System Phantasy Star, by its original like setup, because the last time I played it was a much easier experience, and that was on the Sega Ages release on the Switch. But that game is brutal. You don't have to walk far to face enemies that are way too tough for you. So it's real easy to get somewhere where you're just gonna get killed. It's really unforgiving at the start. Beyond that, yeah, it still retains that. That game takes a lot of grinding. Okay. So we're going to slide this over here. We're going to rotate it. Like that. And then we're going to take both of those. And we're going to get that on top. That's a pretty good angle there. All right, there we go. So we've got our annual Friday the 13th stacked up there. And then we have our post-stream games stacked up there. Okay, that's those. Make sure Snow Bros is being rendered. Mega Man X, yes, I know we haven't started it yet, but I like Mega Man X. I don't think you can see it at all. This can is typically not there. Well, you can see it. I think the chat would end right about here. I kind of like, as much as I like Mega Man X, I would rather have I would rather keep clock tower in front of it. I'll just leave it there for now. It's fine. It's fine. I do love clock tower a lot, but you know, I guess if it's that big a deal to me, I should try to get a boxed copy of it. Even though, like these other 3 games, Otogiriso, Star Ocean, and Tales of Fantasia, which I do own complete in-box copies of. Interesting note, the Famicom boxes are just about VHS size. That was the standard they used for them. They're like the size of VHS tapes. Which I didn't know, because until last year I didn't own any complete in-box Super Famicom games. Or I should take it. I want to get an in-box copy of Clock Tower and Sweet Home, and then put them on top of the shelf. Laplace No Ma also. Even though I've played all of the games, I just really, really enjoyed them a lot. Okay. So we got to move all these Switch games. And then, where are these? These are the PC games. Which is weird because they split. I really should move those PC games down. In fact, I think I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. Kingpin. Max Payne and Max Payne. Okay. Let's get these situated back here. This is my method. Oh, that's the empty. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay. And then we'll slide them back. Perfect. Two of those are too high. Okay. It's so goofy because who would ever know? Who would ever know but me? But I'll know. And what would I be without my wild obsessions? What would I be? Perfect. They're not quite touching there. All right, that'll make this easier. Those are a pain because I decided to like have him like lean over a little bit. These are PC games. The first ones I put together that I have the disc and it's just in a binder somewhere, and I don't have any of the manual for. Oh no! Pushed it too hard. I gotta remember this computer. Even streaming like doesn't fully justify why this computer can't render on Blender as well as my older computer. See where that was at. Okay, so I didn't really lose much there. That's fine. Yeah, I was just trying to render that. And under normal like viewport shading, you won't get the lighting, the glass effect. Obsessions keep you sane. That's what I say. What would I be without my weird obsessions? All right, I'll let this sit and stew for a while. Gosh, I realized today another thing. When I was putting together the Mega Man X cartridge, that my Super Nintendo cartridge is slightly off in a way that bugged me and was kind of irritating to fix. But now that I fixed it on the Mega Man X cartridge, I can just duplicate that and I'll be fine. But also I realized that I need to make, again, nobody will ever care. I need to make a second Super Nintendo cartridge because there were two styles of Super Nintendo cartridges. And I forgot until I was going through some carts I picked up, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is this one weird? So I find a photograph here. Do. What? No. Not what I was looking for. Yeah. So I don't know how familiar you all may be with Super Nintendo cartridges, but there are two different styles of cart. So this is the one that most of my carts are of this style. And apparently this was, I believe, the older style cart. And this is more in line with the Famicom carts. I need my pointer. I'm rolling my mouse over it like you can see it. So this is what, like, the Famicom Japanese carts, and I think I want to say the European, the PAL systems of Super Famicom use the same style, I think, as the Japanese. I believe it does, because it's the same case style. But there's a plastic tab when you turn on the power on the US Super Nintendo. I think Japan had this too. A plastic tab that locks in, and it prevents you from pulling the cartridge out while the system is on. And apparently enough people broke it. This is the story that I'm being told. I don't know if I entirely buy it, but enough people were breaking that tab and complaining to Nintendo that Nintendo changed the design to have just this slope so that the plastic tab that locks in will still hit in the place, but you're free to just pull the cartridge out. Which feels like maybe you shouldn't want that, but I guess it's better than having people break the stuff. So my cartridges are just the one type, except for you know, I do have this, so I have precedent. It wouldn't be difficult to go back and adjust this, but I will have to make a duplicate, because sooner or later I'm gonna have my own cart that I'm gonna look over at it and be like, yep, it's got that thing. Again, nobody will ever care, but I'll know. Slide these. I should move these to a different shelf. I like the switch cases. I think they came out very well. I think they came out pretty nicely. Did I separate these at all? No, I guess not. I guess they are just for show. I really thought I had a line. Nope, I never did. How weird. Again, not that anyone will ever see it, but now I'm thinking about it, bothers me. But yeah, they're just hidden away. So let's see here. I guess Wild Arms should go first, right? Okay. Slide this back. Not too close, not too far. Okay. Slide it just a little bit more there. Okay. Cursor just selected. Selection to cursor. Grab it on the Y. Grab it on the X. Just enough to give it some variety. So they're not all like neatly stacked the same distance. I'm trying to vary it. Of course, I never changed the ones that are already there. Okay, and we'll slide these all back. It's not too close, is it? Nope. Still plenty of separation there. And how much of that do you see? And that's zoomed in, you know. This is about let's see if I can make this about comparable. Yeah, so this is about comparable, maybe. Probably more like that. That's what you'd see on the stream. So you can't see any of that. Oh, I spent so much time on this, and it's positioned in a way that like you can't see it, like it's just background. Like I could just be putting like 100 games in here with like, you know, pictures of a dog's butthole on the cover, and the title of all of them could just be like, I don't know, beat it nerd, you know, and no one would know. Why can't I put that kind of time and energy into making this model better, or doing other stuff for the stream that's better? I don't know. I need to go through and make sure all of those are visible. Mega Man X Kart was not rendering. PS1. It's all the way up at the tippy. Over blood. Wild Arms. Wild Arms? Wild Arms is in there. Wild Arms is already visible. Wild Arms over. Overblood is a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying it. I hope y'all, anyone who enjoyed it, caught it on Monday, will come back next Monday for the next part of it. We should finish it on Monday, I would expect, just based off of the table of contents listing in the walkthrough. Okay, I think we're good on that. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. Even though it seems so pointless. I'm really happy with it. I derive a lot of enjoyment out of this. And usually like the games are pretty simple, like once I've made it, like I just got to go through and adjust stuff. Gosh, that twin Famicom has so many parts. Why couldn't I have combined some of them before dragging it in here? I made it so convoluted. I think the twin Famicom was the last console that I made. I'm gonna play some RPGs on this. This is what I'll be playing my Japan only releases of games. I've got 2 RPGs and Castlevania 3. Akumacho Densetsu. And then I've got a couple Famicom Disk System games, which is the main reason I got it. But I was pretty happy with this. It was really difficult to get good images of the text that is on the front of the twin Famicom. I had to do quite a bit of cleanup work on photographs from my unit to get like usable text off of this. Just so I can put a label on it, and then you won't even see it at 1080 resolution. And then especially this section, you can't see anything in that section. No connections in the back. These cables just, they're cut. They don't go anywhere. These controllers, the D-pad is the only thing I modeled. Everything else is just a picture from my my controllers. They look pretty beat. But like this is all modeled. Put text and all of this, the sticker, all of these stickers. Spent all this time hunting down fonts to try and match that stuff. Getting this text here just right. Why do I do it? Why do I do it? You can't see it. I spent so much time on the models. I drive myself crazy on it, and then it's like there's details you can't do. Look at this. The hard drive is cut off. You can't even see the whole thing. You can't even see the whole thing when this is on stream. I went through so much headache lining up all of these holes, and not just the ones that went all the way through, but the ones that are just kind of pushed into it. But why? Why? It was important for me to make it as accurate as possible. And then this is the only time I really show it off, and then I just feel stupid. To spend the whole time saying like, yeah, I mean, you'll never know. No, I didn't model the back. I almost never model the back of that stuff that you'll never see. It's my face melter game. Can't see it on the stream though. This isn't totally accurate. This connector is quite a bit bigger. I was just looking at this today, and I'm starting to worry that the weight of the cable is pulling the connector out of this. All right, well, this is how my blending streams usually end up, with me working on some project and then coming back to the stream closet model and being like, look at the thing that I made. Do. See if this will save over the other copy. It did. Okay. All right. Well, that's all the Blender. That's all the Blender time for this evening. I don't know. I thought I was like half and half. Like either this Mega Man X helmet is gonna be like pretty easy, or it's gonna drive me crazy. And at first it seemed like it was gonna cause me a lot of issues, but it came out. Now it's not super duper detailed, and it doesn't have a fancy texture, so there is that. But it's done halfway. I gotta bring it into Unity and then try to make it look cool the way it all like folds out there. But it'll probably look something like this. It'll look like this one. Try and make it look neat. But that'll be, I don't know, next week or the week after. I don't know exactly when I'll play it. It's gonna be, it should be this month. How much time I got left this month? There was some other stuff I wanted to chat about before leaving. But I guess we could talk about it another time. I want to try and do watch-alongs this year, like once a month, but like it's watch-alongs that tie directly into a video game, which I will then play. I don't know if that would be on the same stream or a later stream, but I'm only going to do it once a month because I think the best time to try and for people to catch like a movie is like on a weekend. But I can't stream every weekend. So I got one planned. I may do it this month. I was going to do it this month, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, I'm doing Birdcage of Horrors. And that's going to take 2 streams. And we're pretty much just watching that movie. And it also is quote unquote a game. So I'll just say that's for January. We'll come back in February and do the next movie and a game associated with it. I didn't know who the 5 survivors, so it's technically not a show. Yeah, we're starting over from the first disc. We're gonna rewatch the first disc because it's only like an hour. Each disc is about an hour. There's 6 discs total, about 6 hours altogether. I'm gonna do the first 2 discs, possibly the 3rd disc. I'll do 2 discs. See if people still want to watch. We may take a little. We'll probably take a little break between discs and jump back into it. Not a real long break. And then, but I mean, if we do 3 discs, that's like three hours. It's not too long, but I know like, like 3 hours isn't long for a stream, but 3 hours to me is a long time to sit and watch a movie. So we'll see. But that would make it split evenly if I do 3 and 3. Or we're going to come back and do that on Friday. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow for Wild Arms. I'm excited about that one. I want to see what the Dillio with the new Animal Crossing update. I haven't played Animal Crossing well, I was gonna have a break for. I haven't played Animal Crossing in ages. I bought Animal Crossing. I played it for a year solid. I want to say it was like 3 weeks after, like, you've been on the island for a year, and I was like stopped playing it every day, and then stopped playing it every week, and then just stopped playing it altogether. And it's been years now, and I'm terrified to open it back up and walk into my house and find it full of like cockroaches. So I should get back on it sometime. Because I never did get the giant robot that I wanted. I spent so much time trying to find the pieces to make that giant robot. I got a Godzilla sitting on my island, but there's some other stuff that got added after I stopped playing that I never really dug into. So, but yeah, I don't know. I should check it out. Anyway, I bring that because Anadelna and Glitch Phantom are currently checking out the update. So if you want to pop over there and check it out, like I said, I'll be back tomorrow night for Wild Arms on the PS1. Very excited to start a new long RPG adventure. And then after that, on Friday, we'll be back for the Birdcage of Horrors on the Dreamcast, a weird early day internet web, I guess it's a web series. It's 365 1-minute videos that form a 6-hour movie. It's really cool. You should come check it out. And then Sunday, of course, be back for the Sunday grind. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed some blending. I know I just kind of fiddle around with stuff and like drag some verts around for a while. Hopefully you enjoyed watching some of that. I'll do some more of these in the future, but I don't do too many of them because I mean, I enjoy it, but I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back again for the next one. Until that time, so long, everybody. Bye-bye.